Hello and welcome to the Astro Garden, a place for astrologers to chat all things astro. I'm your host Janessa of By Jove Astrology. Thanks for tuning in. Hello, welcome back to the Astro Garden. Today is Thursday, January 16th. It has been a while. It feels good to be back. I appreciate everybody's patience if you've been waiting for another episode. It has been a little busy over here. I was able to take a lot of time off at the end of the year from my day job, which means I'm now back at my day job and I'm feeling the burn with Mars. This time of year in general, it's like people are wanting to circle back, to use a term I hate, on what we were talking about before everybody went on PTO. They're just like wanting to make up for lost time, essentially, under capitalism. This is what we get to do in January. So there's like a lot of anxiousness, a lot of busyness, a lot of people wanting to be very productive right now, and it doesn't feel very good as a human being, at least to me. So that's what I'm dealing with on that end. It's very much like realizing as I'm saying this, it's very much Mars retrograde for me. I have Leo in the 6th house and Cancer in the 5th house. So Mars started retrograding in Leo and is now in my 6th and is now retrograding in Cancer in my 5th house. And there's definitely tons of themes coming up around, what do I have to do in that 6th house space? Like, what is required of me, whether that's like my day job or my responsibilities as a parent versus like what brings me joy and what are the fun things that I want to do. Whether that's, my personal projects like this vlog or, the fun things I want to do with my kids. It's been a little chaotic, but also like there's something happening on a deeper layer that's like clarifying a lot of things for me in terms of what's required versus like where can I find the space to do the fun stuff. I think it's always important to bring up too, like the house that Mars rules for you. And it could be any planet that's going retrograde, but or the houses that they rule for you. So Mars rules Aries and Scorpio, which for me, Aries is my 2nd house. So there's been like some tidying up of some financial things, some revisiting of some financial things regarding like savings plans and logistical things with bank accounts and paperwork and all of those fun tasks. But also a lot of things, again, very tied to my 5th house because my moon is in the 9th house in Scorpio. But like those 9th house things of like astrology and studying and like all of these things that I want to be doing, that are very tied to like these 5th house projects, I guess, for lack of a better word. So yeah, there's a lot going on in my mind. It feels very disorganized right now. Chart ruler in Gemini, all over the place. So along with, my Lord of the year being Mars and retrograde. So yeah, things are a little busy, but I feel like they're calming down. One thing that has been invaluable to me as I've started the year is my friend Krista of at Practical Astros, of Practical Astros. She did a year ahead tarot reading for me, and this is the second year that I've gotten one of these from Krista. Love them. She pulls a card for each month, and then she like sends a recording of her speaking to what that might mean for the year ahead for you. So the card that she pulled for me for January was the Strength card, and that has kind of been, I don't know, just getting me through, like, knowing that, like, okay, I know it's going to be tricky. I know there's going to be, like, moments that are less than pleasant, but I know if I can use that inner strength, I can get through it. And there's, like, light at the end of the tunnel, right? Because then I have a different card for February. The energy's going to change. But this might just be, like, a little bit of a difficult month. And, like, there's just something so comforting just knowing ahead of time, or in the moment when it feels like you're using all your strength. So that's pretty helpful. I love the timing of this. I just downloaded I'm like spacing on the name. I need to have it documented. I will have it in the show notes. But it's the 5th and 11th house workshop that Kira and Meg did together, this like great collaboration. And I also got the guidebook. So I've listened to the workshop. I have not read through the guidebook yet at this point, but the workshop was amazing. There's so much there. There's so many layers. I'm really excited about like looking at my chart through like with more of a focus on those houses. And then also, obvious takeaways to use in client readings. But if you haven't checked out their work yet, definitely check it out. I cannot recommend it enough. I love the niching, like the focus on like, two houses in the chart, but like how that can just totally, like just going deeper on one topic or two topics can like expand your understanding of the chart as a whole. And just, lots of little like nuggets of wisdom in there for sure. Definitely recommend that one. It opened up, like, I think I knew before, like, these things, right? When you look at a chart, it's like, okay, the ruler of this house is in that house, and like, what does that mean? But it gave me a better understanding and like appreciation for that in my own chart. I have the ruler of my 5th house, like I just said, the moon, in the 9th house. And it's like tying together a lot of pieces of like what it is I want to make in my 5th house. And then also like how, like, what the difficulties are there with that, with the moon ruling it being in Scorpio. Also some of the good things, I have some other planets there, but some of them are in detriment. It's just interesting to see like what kind of story I can start weaving together just from that, about what it is I really do want to make and how it is I really want to share it. I have a Saturn ruled 11th house. It's my 11th house season right now. And, Mars is retrograde in my 5th house. So it just feels like personally perfect timing for me. But, there's something always about Capricorn season that I don't know if I just like overdo it in Sag. And I'm sure a lot of people feel that way. It's like this time of year. But once I get to Capricorn season, it's like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing for a while. I have Neptune there, and it just feels very confused. It's like a confusing time of year. Like, are we going forward? Are we doing something new? I think in years past, obviously we've had Pluto and Capricorn for a long time, my whole adult life. So this is like this first Capricorn season, without it there. And it feels a little bit lighter for sure, but it still feels a little bit like foggy and like I kind of get lost in the sauce here. That's like what these first couple weeks of the year have been like. And now we're like almost through Capricorn season already. Hard to believe. Aquarius season starts in like 3 days. But then Aquarius season is like 12th house season for me, which feels very like, I feel like I just don't exist in the material realm during that time. I live in Minnesota. It's extremely cold here, and it's like the coldest time of year. So I don't like go outside as much, and I just feel like, I don't know, all of a sudden, once I get to Pisces season, it feels better and it feels more like, I feel more with it. But that 12th house season always just feels like, I don't know where that time goes. That time from like January 19th through like, mid-February when Pisces season starts is like a blur, and also like goes very slowly because there's not a whole lot going on here. But yeah, I'm trying to like just take note this time around and what feels different, and maybe make some observations about why I feel that way. So, noted. I also wanted to take a moment to plug my work I published I think it was just last week, or maybe the week before, but I published Essence of the Signs Capricorn for you all. That is available for purchase on my Substack and my website. So if you listen to Essence of the Sign Sagittarius, it's a similar idea. It's just focused on the sign of Capricorn. These, I'm going to be doing one of these for each of the signs. Sagittarius is free and available to anyone who wants to get a little taste of it. But I just can't, it's my own work, so I'm recommending it. but I just love how much I'm personally learning, like doing these and talking through them. It's like, there's something magical about speaking it out loud. It's allowing, I get into this space of like, where it's my own gnosis, but it's also like, I don't know, it's a third party like coming in and just like dropping these little gems, into the recordings. And, I'm noticing things that I don't think I would notice if I were just like breaking this down, even just like writing it out or something like that. There's something like oracular happening, but it's really just, what's the word I'm looking for? Like concretizing, or like making concrete a lot of these things that I've learned, but also like more abstract concepts, like, going through the houses by modality and like the bigger picture, which I love as a Jupiterian. It's like, I love looking at like the overarching themes, especially between, the different modalities as rising signs too. So there's like just a lot of things clicking into place for me right now. And maybe they're like, to some people, you're probably listening to this and thinking like, that's so easy. Like, you probably have noticed these things in the past. But to me, I think that they're things that are easy to overlook. And, some of those like elemental pieces of astrology are like, they're right there, but like, there's so many other things going on that it's hard to even notice them. So that's kind of what this whole project is about, is like digging deeper into the very basics, to do more with them, because there's a whole lot we can do without getting into like fancy techniques or like, I love all that stuff. I love the ZR and, solar returns and, all of those fancy things. But I think the beautiful thing about astrology is like how infinitely smaller we can, or like, more detailed we can make even like the simplest things. So check that out. It's turning into like an even bigger project than I was initially imagining. I've been spending time with it and thinking about new ways of looking at it or organizing my thoughts around it. So I'll definitely be doing the 12 signs with it, but there's like other pieces that I think I want to teach on, in addition to just the sign-based teachings. So stay tuned for that. If you go to my website and purchase it that way, there is a download that comes with it with like a little PDF I made on Canva. It's kind of like a reference sheet slash, resource page. So you get that little added bonus if you purchase it directly from me. Substack, right now it's available. You can be a paid subscriber for just $5 a month. On the 19th, on Sunday, when we hit Aquarius season, my prices are going to be going up per month and for the annual plan. So you can sign up for an annual plan right now too for just $30 for the whole year. You'll get all 12 of the signs as they are released for that price, and then some added bonuses, which I'm working on at the moment. So you'll hear more about that over on my Substack as well. But yeah, one other thing I wanted to share about is the class I got to teach over this past weekend at The Cave, which is a yoga studio that's local to me. One of my favorite places, actually, in my area. Love to go there. Love to teach there. If you're local to Minnesota, definitely check it out. But it was so much fun teaching. I got to have this small little intimate group. There were 4 students, and what we really focused on was astrology for your year. And I know, like, hearing that title, you could probably think like, oh, she's gonna talk about like this year's transits, and like obviously there's tons of big transits to talk about for 2025. And we did get into that a little bit, but really my whole plan with this workshop was to talk about like tracking the sun through your birth chart, tracking the moon through your birth chart, using things like planetary hours and planetary days to like just live your life with more flow. And it was awesome. It was like such a good reminder that like on the internet, it feels like everybody knows astrology because everybody you're interacting with, like at a certain level, is like already has some background and some understanding of astrology if they're interacting with your work, right? But like in real life, that's not what is happening. So it's a good reminder for all of us to go out and touch some grass and like, exist outside of our computers and our phones. Because most people don't even know, the difference between their sun sign and their rising sign. And like, if you're just getting started, like doing astrology, like you can go out and teach those very basic things without having like a ton of other experience, right? Like, I know I'm not advocating for people to go out and teach things that they themselves have a good understanding of, but like, even those who have a very basic level or, a 1-year astrology class under their belt can turn around and probably teach someone who has 0 astrology knowledge quite a bit of information. So, it's really a good reminder of that, to see that like, you don't have to know I don't have to be the expert, right? Like I can know a lot of things, and teach and still have something valuable to teach other people, even though I don't know everything. So yeah, that was refreshing and eye-opening, and I want to do more of that. I mean, I think that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. That Mars retrograde, Mars opposite the sun yesterday was like crazy. There was a lot going on at work, in my personal life, like in my, small business. It's been a really exciting time in my business, And yeah, I'm really excited about the year ahead. Oh, that's the other news. I don't think I've shared here that I'm going to Norwalk this year. So if any of you will be joining or going to Norwalk, I'd love to see you there. It's my first like big astrology conference. I've never been to any of these before. So I'm really looking forward to meeting a whole bunch of people that I've befriended online. And hopefully some new people that I haven't spoken to yet. If you're going to be there, definitely send me a message and let's connect. So yeah, it's a really exciting year ahead for me personally and in my little business here. So I'm getting very jazzed about lots of possibilities, and yeah, I think I'll have more to share on some of those bigger projects probably when I get to Pisces season is what I'm envisioning. But I'm feeling myself. I want to keep doing these at least bi-weekly, possibly weekly, if I can ramp these back up again. But it's also, I feel myself slowing down still with like getting to that 12th house space and feeling a little bit more hermity. So I'm going to listen to my body. I'm also going to be hopefully having some more guests here in the near future. And yeah, lots to look forward to. Watch this space, y'all. All right. Well, I think that's enough of my scatterbrained ideas for today. If you made it this far, thank you. I appreciate you. For more information about my work, you can find me at By Jove Astro on Instagram, at By Jove Astrology on Twitter, and the best place to find me of all is at my website, byjoveastrology.com.